And then it's just a Trump rally.
Yes.
Just screaming. If he doesn't get elected, do you think he goes and starts a podcast, TV network?
He totally could.
Yeah.
He totally could. It'd probably be better for him, honestly.
That's what he thought he was going to do, I think, before he got elected. I think he was having high-level meetings with people in the media space to start something like that.
Well, once NBC fired him, NBC fired him while he was running because of stuff they said about Mexico. They're all rapists.
Yeah.
Someone's doing raping.
Right.
The way he talks is just so fucking crazy.
It's out of control.
For a person running for president, NBC is like, that's it, we're getting rid of you. And then they put Arnold in his place, and that was a disaster.
Yeah,
Do you remember that? People forgot.
Yeah.
Arnold hosted The Apprentice. You're fired.
Yeah, that was horrible.
It was terrible.
Yeah.
Trump was shitting on him.
Did they just scrap the show after that?
Yeah, they canceled it.
Well, here's a question. Does he go back to The Apprentice?
Well, if NBC
after the presidency.
I think he's too toxic now.
No, I think he's way too toxic. He's way too toxic.
Maybe he could come up with something like that for Fox.
Oh, Fox is in.
They'll scoop him up.
That's what's great about Fox. They'll play ball.
Yeah.
They'll play ball.
Yeah.
They're not going to leave money on the table.
You know what, though? They did want Megyn Kelly back. They're like, yeah.
Well, she did a thing. I used to do the show Red Eye on Fox News, which was comics would just try to be funny.
Yeah.
They aired it at like 3 a.m. East Coast time. And I saw her the week she was doing that, and she was in like the dressing room, and she knew she shouldn't have left. She could feel it. She'd already made the decision, but you could kind of see it in her face that I think she knew that she was going to try to be this daytime TV queen and like, let's bake cupcakes, you know?
Yeah.
I just spent 4 years on Fox News talking about Santa being white, but now let's bake cupcakes because I'm America's sweetheart. That's never going to work.
Well, it's weird when you publicly change your image.
It's insane.
You're publicly changing your image?
Yeah.
Her skirts got longer.
Oh, yeah.
She covered her neck. There's no more cleavage.
Every show was about sexual assault. She was trying to make it. Every single show was about sexual assault. I think she was trying to ingratiate herself in with the people that hated her. Which is like the New York media types, the people that did not like her, and then she was like,
but it wasn't even just about sexual assault. One of them was a lady who fucked Matt Lauer, and she knew she was fucking him, and she was talking about how she fucked him. Well, I didn't know any better. I was 25. Like,
right.
Huh?
You're 25.
You fucked a guy.
You fucked Matt Lauer.
Like, what happened that's bad here?
Right.
Like, well, he shouldn't have fucked you because he was married. Okay, after that, what happened? What's going on?
Right.
Nothing? You just fucked him?
Yeah, who cares?
It was why is this a segment of a show? Is it because it's scandalous?
Megyn Kelly did an interview with her?
Yeah.
Great.
Yeah, it was, and she was saying, I was young and I was impressionable, which, sure, of course.
It's funny to see them all put nails in each other's coffins.
Right. Exactly.
Isn't that great? Media is like this blood feud. There's only a few families that control all this information. They all hate each other. That's why Succession is such a great show.
Well, I think with Megyn, it was like that she had been sexually harassed while she was at Fox News. And she was going after
by Roger Ailes.
Yeah. So she was going after, and I think Bill O'Reilly, too. I think there was something.
He paid somebody $38 million, so it's like,
that's a lot.
What did he do?
I think it was 32. Was it 32 or 38?
What did that guy do?
What did he do?
And my grandfather still has a Bill O'Reilly Patriots Welcome doormat.
Wow.
It's a good mat.
Oh, imagine. That's a giant amount of money.
It's the amount of money where what he did should be. I mean, it seems like it could be a Netflix documentary.
Right.
Like, it's like horrific.
Like he offered her $37 million. She's like, no, keep going.
Yeah, right.
I'm gonna need more.
Right.
I'm gonna need more after what you did to me.
This is a $32 million offense.
Yeah. Well, there was that one recording that left on some assistant's machine.
Andrea Macris, that woman. Yeah.
Touch with a loofah sponge or something.
Yeah, I mean, that's what he was trying to do.
That's a creepy old guy move.
Yeah.
Get you with a sponge.
It's an interesting. He tried to have his ex-wife excommunicated from the church.
What?
Great.
Did he?
Oh, he tried. I mean, no.
Why?
Well, because he wanted her to go to hell.
A church?
Yeah, Catholic church.
Imagine what kind of donation you have to make to get your ex-wife sent to hell.
Probably $32 million. He's got it, but he wanted her excommunicated. That's the type of guy he is.
But the crazy thing is, even after all this, the guy still had the #1 book in the New York Times.
Oh yeah, because people dig in.
They still, those old fuckers, they just give in.
They dig in. They don't care.
They like him.
I
know who he is.
He's folksy.
He's like my uncle.
He's a good man. So what? He spent $40 million for some woman he tortured.
The tide goes in, the tide goes out.
Yeah.
I'm with God.
I'm with God.
Yeah, he was doing that. That fucking tide goes in, the tide goes out. You can't explain it. One, I was like, wow, you went to Harvard, you fucking piece of shit.
Yeah, well,
you can explain that.
A lot of those guys they wear religion like a fuck. It's fashionable to wear it. Yeah. They wear it. They know better.
Sure.
They know better.
Trump
he doesn't. He gets out and goes, I'm a Christian. I may not be the best Christian, but I'm a Christian. I have leadership qualities.
Good enough.
It's good enough. And you're like, not the best Christian. You're a thrice married guy who owns gambling and a Miss Universe pageant. You're a biblical that's like a biblical figure that would be like a Roman king that everybody was warned about. Like, in terms of
I want him to shave his head.
What do you think that will do?
I just freed him.
I think it would be funny if he shaved it, like somebody had a cancer issue and he just shaved it with them to be a good guy.
Well, it doesn't look good. That's what's confusing to me. Like when I realized,
I think it has a style.
When my hair wasn't looking good, It was impossible to look good. It was falling out to the point where, like, this is just a mess.
Right.
Then I went and buzzed it. But
I always remember you like that. My generation always remembers you like the just bald, virile
like
type.
this. Yeah. It's nice. I've been like this for a long time.
Yeah.
Solid 8+ years.
Yeah.
Bald.
How do you want Trump to just go?
I think he would be better off. It'd be easier. Like, he's not good looking. Like, he must know that.
That would complete his transformation into a supervillain.
I guess like a Lex Luthor type guy.
Oh yeah.
But it's got to be so much work to put that hair together.
I think someone does it for him.
But even then, you got to talk to them while they're putting it together.
I bet you he doesn't talk to them.
What do you think he does? Just tweets angry?
I bet you he's not concerned with the human relations with his staff. I just get that vibe. Yeah. I get that vibe. The person who's in charge of the hair just does the hair.
I hope when he retires, or when he's done, I hope he goes right into podcasting.
Oh, would you have him on right now?
Yes.
Yeah, of course. You have to.
You have to.
Yeah.
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 For sure.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Why not? Why wouldn't he come on? This is 3 hours, or 2.5, 3 hours.
He's busy, and I had some jokes about him.
He's petty. He hates comedy.
Sure.
He does not like to be made fun of. He doesn't like to be made fun of.
I'm sure.
Michelle Wolf got him on Twitter. I bet you'd be on my side if I killed a journalist.
Yeah, I
be
saw
best.
that. Yeah.
Michelle's a kill shot.
Yeah.
It's a kill shot.
Yeah.
You're not going to win.
Yeah, she snuffed him out with that
She's
one.
great, man. She'll just forget it.
He just dropped off the face of the earth without
he was done.
Back out.
He was done. She neutered him. One tweet, neutered.
Yeah, there's some people that go after him, though, and it doesn't work, and he doesn't respond, and it looks so weird.
It's weird when I see my aunt tweeting at him. I'm like, what do you think this is going to do? My aunt with 43 followers.
What did she say?
Your disgusting representation of this country. She'll tweet this. And then I have another aunt who's the other side that'll be like, I believe in you, keep going.
Yeah.
And I just imagine him scrolling through these messages and reading these. Yeah.
Like, if you think about how many people he follows on Twitter, I think if he's wise, he doesn't see the mentions.
I'll tell you right now, his biggest fans are not verified. His biggest fans do not have a blue check. They're under 100 followers. Mm-hmm. They have his biggest fans, not just the people that voted for him, the people that are still, like, in love with him.
Yeah.
A lot of them have dog profile pictures, like a dog that recently died. There's a lot of dead dogs floating around Facebook.
Flags.
I don't know what.
The banner's American
flags.
flag.
None of them have ever served in the military.
Right.
But they all have the flag. They all have the flag. No one's ever served. And 43 to 48 followers. MAGA in the profile.
Hashtag MAGA.
Hashtag MAGA.
You know, a lot of them aren't real. Do you know that?
What are they?
They're Russian bots. Yeah.
Really?
Yeah, it's real. Yeah.
There's a guy in Russia who's got that job, trying to impersonate my aunt on Long Island.
There's a lot of people that have them. They have various accounts they use.
Interesting.
There's a woman named Renee DeResta. She's coming on the podcast soon. She did a study of this for, I forget what she did it for, but she was on Sam Harris's podcast where she went in depth with it. I'll send it to you after we're done.
Please.
It's fucking amazing. But they did all kinds of crazy shit. Like, they would have, like, a pro-Muslim group, and they would put on a demonstration right across the street from a pro-Texas group, and they would organize both of them.
Really?
Yeah. They organize.
To just sow discord.
They would organize African Americans against Hillary Clinton. Anyone but Hillary. We got to vote for Jill Stein. We got to vote for anyone. And they would she doesn't represent us. This is all Russians.
Yeah.
And then they would have other people that were like pro Bernie.
Yeah.
And then Hillary fucked over Bernie. And these
it's
were
nice
Russians
that our
as well.
CIA will just foment coups and overthrow their leaders.
Yeah.
You know, it's nice that we'll just kill their people. We don't fuck with their social media.
I think we fuck with their social media.
I'm sure we
too.
do. Listen, I'm sure we do.
I'm sure there's like.
I wrote off a lot of that Russian stuff as like people's wishful thinking, but the more and more I read about it, the more there is like a coordinated attempt, seemingly, to infiltrate these social media and so Discord. Yeah.
Yeah, there's 100% a real thing going on because this woman documented it, and it was also really funny. Like, she was talking about how many of the memes that they created that were really funny.
Oh, they're hilarious.
Yeah,
probably.
and they came out of Russia.
So there's a bunch of guys in a room in Moscow creating memes.
Yeah.
And it's so funny. This is like they went through KGB training or whatever it is now, FSB, and this is where they ended up.
I think
like,
they
this
just
is the
hire
frontier.
young people.
This is the frontier of the war against the United States.
The thing is, though, if they can do that and get people really upset, if they really can do it, that's a really effective strategy.
It's a great strategy.
You can make things happen now.
Because it's just sowing internal discord, and we're going to collapse our own system.
Like, I wonder how many of these Jesse Smollett... is that how you say his name?
Jesse Smollett is Russian. The whole thing is Russian. It's not even real. The whole thing is Russian. Jesse Smollett doesn't exist.
I wonder how many of the memes were created by Russians to try to get people upset. I bet there's a bunch. I bet there's more people stirring things up than just
that's amazing.
Americans that are upset. I think.
No, I'm sure it's people that are... But then there's also just a lot of Americans that hate each other.
Does that?
Yeah.
Yeah. Does that.
But then you also... What do you think happens with Jesse Smollett? His empire... Because ABC got rid of Roseanne for a tweet. You got to get rid of this guy.
I thought he was getting canceled. He was getting written out, rather. I thought he was getting written out before. This is one of the reasons why he did it.
Well, I support him if that's the case, because this is a very hard business. This is a very tough business.
It is hard. It's hard to make it.
I love that they had to plan that out, and he said to the two guys, he goes, listen, Get a noose.
Yeah.
Go get rope and do a noose. Well, a lot of these hate crimes, first of all, hate crimes happen and they're horrible.
Yeah.
But some of these things are fake.
Do you know he showed up at the hotel with the noose still around his neck holding a Subway sandwich? Just that alone. The people at the hotel should have been like, what? What happened?
That's amazing.
Okay, what happened?
Why are you
have your
wearing
sandwich?
a noose?
You still have the sandwich?
And why are you eating at Subway?
Are you not sick to your stomach?
You're on Empire. What the hell's wrong with you?
Nothing wrong with Subway.
Subway's not good.
It's not bad if you're hungry.
Listen, I've clearly eaten it.
Yeah.
But it ain't great.
But if it's like 2 o'clock in the morning, it's the only thing open.
Why is it
It's
open
only
at 2 a.m.? That's a great point.
Because it's open. Because
Okay.
it's a good move to be open when nothing else is open.
That's a good point.
Get a nice Italian double meat.
I like the
Oil and vinegar, salt and pepper.
meatball with the mozzarella or whatever, and then you don't toast it. You let the hot meatballs melt the cheese.
Ooh, I agree with that.
Yeah, that's a good move.
Meatball sub is always a good move.
It's always a good move,
hard to
especially
fuck
after
up.
faking a hate crime. After you have faked a hate crime, a meatball. How nervous are you after you do that? I'm such a pussy. I could never do what he did. Some level of sociopath. But then I saw that actor I did with the other night, and I went, oh, he could do that.
Yeah.
Oh, these people could do it.
Yeah.
Because they're on another level.
Well, the other thing is that people say, who would want to be a victim? Who would want to fake being a victim? I heard that during the Kavanaugh hearing. I was like, that is a ridiculous thing to say.
Yeah.
There's a lot of currency
In our
being
business,
a victim.
in our business, it's a lot
in
of currency.
public today,
Yeah,
in the
of
world.
course.
Like people
Yeah.
praise victims for
Sure.
coming out and they support them. You get a tremendous amount of love, especially if you're a legit victim of
Yeah,
something.
of course.
You know, I mean, there's a lot to that.
Yeah.
The idea that no one would do that is so contrary to human nature.
No, everyone would do it. I want to do it.
What would you do? What kind of hate crime would you fake?
It's a great idea. I don't know. If I got punched and people saw my face, they'd go, good.
He deserved it.
You know what I mean? Like, no, they would look at my face and go, yeah, okay, good. I tweeted something today. I was like, hey, I'm at Flappers on, what was it? The 26th at Flappers. There was 2 guys from West Hollywood with MAGA hats. They beat me up. They poured something on me. I don't know what it was. I think it was cum. Please come to Flappers. But I mean, that's the thing. Listen, I watched Good Morning America interview this morning and I laughed. I sent it to my buddy. I go, there's a moment in it when they go, how did you know it was the attackers? And he goes like this. He goes, you can see the insanity. You can see it in his eyes. He goes like this. He goes, I was there. And he's just doing that shitty actory, like just fucking shitty acting class shit. That horse shit. I was there. And I'm like, this is fucking crazy. He was going to inform on 2 guys. If there were 2 white guys with MAGA hats who got caught, they'd be in jail right now because the detective said to him, we have 2 suspects on camera. Do you think it's them? He's like, yeah. Then he found out it's his 2 buddies, and he's like, well, I can't testify against them. He was going to testify against 2 people who they thought were guilty.
So he said that he thought it was them?
Yeah, there's a Good Morning America interview of him going, yeah, it's those 2.
That takes it to another level.
Yeah, and then Fox is like, well, hey, he's good on the show. We stand behind him.
That takes it to a completely different
Dude,
level.
there would be people in jail right now who wouldn't care.
Could you imagine?
It's crazy.
Could you imagine not just faking a hate crime, but then putting people in jail? Imagine being those 2 guys.
Yeah.
Who are just sitting in jail like, what the fuck? You're in the cover of the New York Post. Nabbed them. Got them. And they're sitting there like, what the fuck? And everybody wants to kick their ass.
And Empire next season is all about Jussie Smollett. They fire everyone else on the show, and it's just a Jussie Smollett story, and 2 innocent people rotten.
Just the gay Tupac wandering through the streets of Empire.
That's why people in Ohio, whenever Hollywood's like, here's how to vote, they go, you know what? No.
Exactly.
They go, you know what? No, thank you.
I see what you're doing. Fucks.
Faking hate crimes.
What kind of hate crime would you fake if you were going to do it?
It's a great question.
Get ahead?
It's a great question.
Like, what if someone gave you a license to fake a hate crime? Like, what if there was a television show about faking a hate crime? You know how they do, like, Punk'd? You know,
Sure.
they fake things like that? How about you fake a hate crime?
I'd love to do something like that. True TV presents Fake a Hate Crime.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's interesting. I'm trying to think. I
Press
don't know.
conference, whole deal.
Maybe a halal guy would attack me. In New York City, like a halal guy would attack me because he views me as a symbol of imperialism and oppression.
That would be good.
You know, even though I patronize his stand all the time, he still feels the need to attack. I mean, I don't know. I could never do that.
No.
I'm one of those people who would get, and I would get caught.
Well,
I would never think I'd get away with it.
Wanting everyone to think you're a victim when nothing really happened is an insanely selfish thing.
Yeah.
That's an insane, like, faking physical crime. Like, he had to punch him. So he hit himself.
Yeah, these MAGA hat-wearing gangs that everyone's talking about in Chicago and L.A. and New York do not exist. If you have a MAGA hat on at 2 a.m. in New York, you're getting bleach poured on you.
Yeah, probably.
That's the reality.
Well, also, like, just... He was saying that he, like, punched him back and, like, he fought back.
And I love how he was like, first of all, he was on camera for everything except 1 minute. So they asked him, Good Morning America, they go, how long was this? He's like, it felt like several minutes. But it could have been 30 seconds. Like, he's covering this span of time. In his lie, he's going, I got to say it's less than a minute because I'm only off camera for a minute.
Whenever you hear about a guy, like, kills his wife and blames a black guy,
yeah.
You know, there's been a bunch of those, right?
There's been a ton of them.
And then you see the
O.J. Simpson, for example.
Did he blame someone? Who did he blame?
No, somebody probably blamed him.
Remember, there was a recent one. People were saying that his son did it.
Yeah. My mother always believed that, but again,
That's a
schizophrenic.
weird conspiracy theory, though, right? Isn't
That's
that a
one
weird
I don't really get into.
Yeah.
I don't want. Yeah, those are the ones that are out there. I don't really get into that. I don't go near the moon. I don't go near. I'm not an OJ truther.
Are you a Gulf of Tonkin guy or Operation Northwoods?
Those are all true. Yeah. There's nothing. Those are all true.
Operation Northwoods is my favorite.
It's crazy.
Yeah.
They talked about bombing a ship.
Yeah.
With people on it.
They were going to blow up a drone jetliner and blame it on the Cubans.
Yeah.
They were going to attack Guantanamo Bay, arm Cuban friendlies, and have them attack Guantanamo Bay.
Crazy. Yeah.
Yeah, that was not that long ago.
I know. That's why we need you back.
God, I can't do it.
Well, you know what? I got mad.
Conspiracies are too exhausting.
I got exhausting because I would do a show and then somebody would come up to me after the show and they'd be like, they'd show me a pizza menu. I swear to God, they go, you see that? And I go, no, what is it? They go, that's the NAMBLA symbol. And I'm like, it says garlic knots. And they're like, you got. No, they're like, you got to really look at it. And I'm like, all right, I can't go the rest of my life with that.
Well, they look for it in everything. Everything's a conspiracy. And then when it comes back to you, when they say, oh, Tim is involved in this.
Right.
Like, and then you go, oh, I see how this works. People just make shit up.
Yeah.
And then they believe it.
Yeah, the CIA is now getting involved in podcasting.
Yes.
With you guys. You're their first show, but they're going to get a few others on.
They're deeply involved in stand-up.
They've started a
sort
network.
of like the Russian trolls. That's what they're
Deeply
doing.
involved in stuff. I love the idea of the CIA going and watching sets and be like, who's getting passed at the store?
Oh, you don't know. I have a friend of mine who thinks that the CIA started Jim Morrison and Jimi Hendrix.
There's a book about that called Weird Scenes Inside the Canyon, written by a guy named Dave McGowan.
Yes.
And I'm going to tell you right now, Joe, it's kind of interesting. I'm going to tell you, it's kind of interesting. There was a lot of cult shit going on in Laurel Canyon.
I'm sure. Probably about pussy.
There was a lot of weird shit going on. The CIA, the Rand Corp was all over there. There was a lot of shit happening.
Well, I'm sure there was a lot of shit happening, but there is not a fucking intelligence agency in the world that can create a Jimi Hendrix.
No, of course. And they're not sitting there. That book was like that they were managing the birds.
Yeah.
The CIA was like, they were like, no, it's Mr. Tambourine. It was like a CIA guy going to be like, it's Tambourine Man.
Mr.
Yeah. Play a song for me.
Imagine being in that time when everything was just falling apart left and right around us. Vietnam War, Kent State. Just fucking Nixon's the president.
Yeah.
It's just chaos left and right. There's no internet.
Yeah.
Everyone's doing drugs. It must have been. Why?
It must have been amazing.
I mean, I always think about that Hunter S. Thompson quote about, like we talked about the 60s, and that in the 70s it was almost like the wave crested and then just...
It's crested from Fear and Loathing in Las Vegas.
Yeah.
But I'm a big, I'm a Kennedy guy. I think there's something really shady with that.
Yeah, for sure.
For sure. And in that book, there's some amazing stuff about that.
Now, this book that you gave me is Family of Secrets.
It's a guy, Russ Baker, who's a legit journalist. It's been praised by Dan Rather and Bill Moyers.
Drag me in, bro.
I'm trying to get you in. Let me tell you right now, this will get you in. It'll get you in.
I don't have that kind of time.
Did you know that George H.W. Bush called the FBI and said that he thought he knew who the killer of JFK was? Did you know that?
No.
You didn't know? He called the FBI in Houston.
Hey,
and he said,
what's up? It's George.
George Bush, I'm in Tyler, Texas, and I think I know who the killer is. And he informs on this guy, James Parrott. And James Parrott ended up being like one of his staffers. It was this weird cover story he kind of planted, and that came out in his memo. And there was another memo. These are declassified FBI memos, Freedom of Information Act. There was another memo that said, after the assassination, J. Edgar Hoover briefed George Bush of the CIA. The problem was George Bush should not have been working for the CIA at that point. He should have been just a private citizen. So it suggested he was working for the agency for a very long time. And he was made the director of the agency for 1 year after the family jewels came out, which was this whole thing where the CIA went to Congress and they admitted that they had done all these things from, coups and fomenting revolutions in countries. And they made him the director for 1 year after that happened to make a clean break from all of the nefarious activities that the agency had been involved with. But if you take that memo to mean that he had an existing relationship with them, he was actually just becoming because it made no sense to anyone. They were like, why is this guy that everyone called a lightweight becoming the head of the CIA after the CIA just admitted to all these horrible things?
They called him a lightweight?
Yeah, he was like, I think Kissinger had said to Nixon, like, he's a lightweight. They made him ambassador to China. He was never a guy that had serious political capital, and he was made the head of the CIA. And then after that memo was unearthed, people were saying, this was an extension of the cover-up. He was being made the director at this very interesting time in history because he actually had worked with the agency forever, and he was not at all a lightweight. He was a serious operator, and he was going in there to kind of clean up and transition them into a new era. I'm telling you.
I'm already out.
You're out?
Done. Yeah.
How are you out?
I can't listen to that.
It's good. It's great, though.
I need current shit.
I know, but this is what...
I need some, like, Julian Assange. I need something right. I need some Edward Snowden.
I know, the Bushes are done. All right,
I can't do the Bush anymore.
I'll get an Assange book.
Enough.
I'll get an Assange book.
I can't get in there.
Listen, I'm telling you,
I'll dabble in the Clintons.
If you read a chapter of this, I
give me a cookie.
I don't have a cookie, and if I do, I'm taking it. But you'll be. It's very interesting, and it's a well-written book because it's not reckless and sloppy.
I'll read the first chapter, I promise.
Thank you.
I will. Yeah. Listen, a buddy of mine gave me David Lifton's Best Evidence on the Kennedy assassination.
Okay.
And that got me into conspiracy theories. This is like 92.
And I get it. You're at the end of the road now where you're like, this is... Because a lot of people are full of shit in that world. A lot of them. And that's what people don't realize.
Well, then it gets deeper and deeper and deeper and more preposterous. Have you ever Googled hashtag space is fake?
No, but that sounds amazing.
There is a thriving space is fake community.
Have you ever been in space?
No, good point. Could be fake.
Come back to us, Joe.
Prove it, bro.
No, what is space? Come back to us.
Well, it's an extension of flat Earth. It's like for people that think the flat Earth is not stupid enough.
Too conservative?
They go deeper. It's like it's not stupid enough.
Yeah, they think for those flat Earth cucks, they want to move into space. They want to go to space is fake.
Yeah, you want to know what's really up.
Space is fake.
Space is fake. Yeah.
Crazy.
Well, I mean, I think there are hundreds of thousands of people that think that the Earth is flat. Hundreds of thousands. Educated Western American human beings that think the Earth is flat.
That is wild.
It is fucking crazy.
It's interesting.
It's a lot of people that just get educated from YouTube. The Guardian actually had an article about it. I sent it to Eddie, and Eddie laughed at me.
See, I think Eddie's kind of rational in a lot of ways. Because I've had conspiracy talks with him.
About what?
The one that we had was insane a little. It was about how the government was attacking Malibu.
Well, he's the one that
him
came
and
up to
Tripoli
me
and
about...
Sam were talking about that they were using direct energy weapons, and I was like, I don't know if this is
attacking Malibu.
That's what I was like. Why would they attack Malibu? Well, the fires. Yeah. But I'm like, why would they attack Malibu? It's the rich people.
The fire started near my fucking house. They didn't even start in Malibu. They flew through the air. I was one of the first evacuated.
Right.
These fucking theories are so stupid. It's dry as shit.
Yeah.
A fire hits, and the winds are going crazy. Oh, did they make the wind? They made the wind?
I'm sure
They've always made the wind. The wind has always been the CIA.
They've always made the wind.
Yeah, it's just... And there's no rest. There's no peace.
I know.
There's no living in the moment. It's
you
like
think
a
you get to a certain point, you go, I just don't even want to know. Because there's horrible things going on. There's horrible things going on.
What do you think is like the worst shit going on right now?
Human trafficking is very bad. Horrible. Multi-billion-dollar industry. That's not Subway sandwich artists are paying for that.
Right.
Rich people, some of them are involved in some very bad things.
Yes.
And it's their tracks. I mean, they're covering their own tracks.
Yeah, like that Jeffrey Epstein.
Yeah, all of that stuff, dude.
That Clinton visited him.
Yeah,
he's got an island
he's got a
somewhere.
Anyone with an island. Yeah. And hanging out with Bill Clinton.
Yeah.
If you have an island and you're hanging out with Bill Clinton, there's a problem.
Where's the montage?
Yeah, yeah. I mean, it's a crazy. All of that stuff is very disturbing. He got a sweetheart deal because he wouldn't inform on anyone that was on his plane. And now the Justice Department's looking at that again. It'll probably be fine. They'll probably just let him.
With a guy like that, what? I mean, how does
he knows everything.
Stay alive?
Because it's good. He's not going to say anything. He's not going to talk.
I wouldn't trust him. If I was on that plane.
I think that's the other thing about it. See, the aversion to conspiracies is you go like, people would talk. Mm-hmm. The reality is people wouldn't talk. If you were from a prominent family, if it had been like a religion to stay silent, if you had CIA training, these people don't talk. And we know that there have been plots that have gone unknown for a very long time, including the coup in Iran.
Sure.
So a guy like Jeffrey Epstein is so involved, so deep, he knows he'll get killed. He won't say anything.
Yeah.
He's not going to say anything.
Plus, he doesn't want to go to jail.
He doesn't want to go to jail, and he doesn't want to say anything.
Admit all the things that he did.
Yeah.
So weird. The child thing is the creepiest of all.
It's gross, and unfortunately, it's a real thing.
Yeah.
So people you could talk about.
Yeah, I understand.
Hey, bud. Sorry about the craziness earlier. That was like a really intense couple of hours for me.
No worries. 1 sec, bud. 1 sec. All right. Well, yeah. Let me give you a hit back in a couple. I'll shoot you a text once this game's over or whatever.
Yeah, man. See if it can work on your end or whatever.
I've also got the. Well, yeah. I'll try and pull up one of your games while you're leveling up.
Yeah.
Yeah, works for me.
Okay, cool, man.
All right, cheers, bud.
Yeah, bye.
I need you to hang up because I can't.
Oh shit! I'm in the game too, man. I'm sorry.
Okay. Awesome.
I can hang up. I got it. Oh, did Silas or anyone get? Sorry to push that, but.
No, I sent 2 texts to Derek because I don't even know how I'm getting paid yet. So.
Okay.